Drew Code Sports Talk is powered by StreamYard. Want to take your podcast to the next level? Use StreamYard. It's the easiest way to record, stream, or produce high-quality episodes, whether you're solo or with guests. Plus, when you sign up today, you'll get a $10 credit to get started. Use the link in our bio. Don't miss out. StreamYard is your key to seamless podcasting.
All right, so this one, I think I'm throwing it out there just to see like where you feel like the barometer is on this team. But Philadelphia Eagles have been an interesting team, I think, all season. So I'm curious, do you think Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat or not?
I think he is because, oh man, this is hard because, I mean, the fourth quarter was great for the Eagles. The whole game was not great for the Eagles. I mean, you could say that about the Saints too, but I don't know. Like they're just not who they were a couple of years ago. You know, even though you like, yes, Jalen Hurts threw for 311 yards, which is great. But for me, it was kind of more like it doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
as it used to. It looks different. I don't know how to pinpoint it. And I got to be honest, Saquon Barkley is the savior right now for this team. He's the one who's, I think, keeping this team alive because, yeah, Dallas Goedert had a phenomenal day. I'm not, saying anything about his day, but, he hasn't been consistent throughout this year so far. That was like his first like really good day. Whereas Saquon Barkley, 17 carries, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what it seems like it's been every single game so far. So, Saquon, without him, I mean, you're going to see more of what the Eagles did last year. So if Saquon doesn't have a good day, I don't think the Eagles are all that good. However, I will say, I think this team is too talented to keep losing or to lose weird games. I think they're going to lose some games they probably should win, but the losing streak last year that they ended up having, and then this year, kind of the way they've come out flat, and I think they've benefited from a couple of things. I mean, I think the Saints finally kind of cooled off, which was great for Philadelphia, but for all intents and purposes, New Orleans had a chance to win this game, and luckily the Eagles ended up pulling out. But again, Saquon Barkley. If it's not for Saquon, they don't win that game. So I think he's on the hot seat. To be perfectly honest, he's probably not as hot of a seat as I think he is. But if I were the owner or the GM, I would really think about, okay, who's going to be our next head coach?
Yeah. Drew Code Sports Talk is supported by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is your go-to app for tickets, making it super easy to find the best deals. They even rate each ticket deal on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting your money's worth. And as a special thank you to our listeners, we've got a promo code just for you. Use Drew Code at checkout to get $20 off your first order. That's $20 off your first purchase, whether it's for the game that you've been dying to see or that concert that everybody is talking about. Head over to SeatGeek now, find your perfect seat, and use Drew Code for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek. Get your tickets to the action today.
I think this one's interesting because I feel the same. Like, I think he's on the hot seat, but I wouldn't put him on the same. I wouldn't make his seat as hot as, let's say, Doug Peterson. I don't think he's at risk of losing his job in the middle of the season or before the season ends. But like, if the Eagles underperform this season, like I think the expectations are at least the divisional round of the playoffs or the NFC Championship. I think is obviously their expectations of where they think they can go in the NFC, I think. And I truly believe like when the Eagles are healthy, their roster warrants that type of talent where if they take care of business and play up to their expectations, they should be, an NFC Championship type of team. But I think what makes this tough, and I think to your point about why this team seems different than when they were on their Super Bowl run, is because I feel like the Nick Sirianni camaraderie is fading, and now this team is listening, but they haven't mutinied yet against the coach. Like we're almost like in that transition of when like the coach still has enough of a voice to get his players to play, but each week it's dwindling as decisions are made. Like, for example, not going for a field goal when points are at a premium in this kind of game, and you keep going for it on fourth down. And at least against the Saints were stopping you on fourth down. And so like you essentially leave 12 points of just field goal points on the field just because you wouldn't just play it smart by kicking the field goal, taking the points as they come, because you're not scoring touchdowns at the same volume as you were like against the Packers or whatever else the team is. And so I feel like Nick Sirianni still somewhat has a little bit of control in that locker room, but I think at any given point, like with just a little bit of adversity, like it's going to take a losing streak to essentially get everyone to start pointing fingers at one another. And it doesn't help that last season there was a report coming out that like Nick Sirianni didn't have control of Jalen Hurts, like play calling, and a lot of the players were kind of doing their own thing against like what Sirianni was demanding. And it just kind of goes to show the lack of respect that they had for Sirianni last season. And again, I feel like we're kind of transitioning with Sirianni to like, he's still the head coach and they respect him, but like each week we're getting to the point where like they're tuning him out, and now it's on the verge of like, you know, he's going to lose the locker room pretty soon is what it feels like. And so I definitely think he's on the hot seat to the degree it's probably a little cooler than, you know, like I mentioned, Doug Peterson, but I feel like Sirianni, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a change just because we need a different voice in that locker room. It's not, you know, his voice isn't being listened to anymore. And, you know, maybe just the peak of what Sirianni can do is losing in the Super Bowl, and that's the best you're going to get out of him. So, but that's what I would say for that.